Straight ahead on 12 News, helping bus riders get around easier. We'll show you the changes that could show up at a bus stop near you. Then the push for a new amphitheater in Brooklyn Center.
We know this is an important cause for our city. We're excited.
But first, the impact of Ebola touches the Northwest Metro as 12 News learns 3 local residents go into voluntary confinement. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. 12 News has learned 3 people from the Northwest Metro have gone into voluntary confinement to prevent the possible spread of Ebola.
They recently traveled to West Africa and are now back in Minnesota. Sonia Goins joins us now with more.
Yeah, Mike and Alex, 2 of the people in confinement live in Brooklyn Center and another person lives in Brooklyn Park. They decided to stay out of the public before Minnesota health officials imposed new Ebola restrictions on Monday. It's important to note that these people do not have Ebola, nor are they showing any symptoms. They're just being careful. Here's what we can tell you. All 3 traveled to either Liberia, Sierra Leone, or Guinea within the past couple of weeks. We spoke with Abdullah Kiatamba, the chair for the Minnesota African Task Force Against Ebola. He says it's a good thing they are taking precautions to protect the public.
Do not stigmatize anybody because they're from West Africa. Do not hide from doctors and medical institutions that you are from West Africa. Just to let them know. That way they can isolate you and prevent and save the lives of so many different people.
Meanwhile, the Minnesota Department of Health is monitoring at least 3 other people. These folks will have to check in twice daily with health officials. They will also have to take their temperatures and report the results. State officials say the precautions are necessary.
There's every reason for careful vigilance to protect all Minnesotans, which we now have underway. However, there's no reason for alarm and absolutely no cause for panic.
Now, a spokesperson for the Minnesota Department of Health says they are contacting people who may be at risk. They say most of the potential cases are from Hennepin County because of the large West African population. Mike?
All right, thanks, Sonia. The State Patrol helped track down a school bus that went missing for close to an hour this morning. The driver was transporting about a half-dozen kids from Brooklyn Center to Fair School in Crystal. The State Patrol says he got lost and didn't realize his radio dispatch system had been turned off. The bus company contacted authorities who tracked down the bus at the Target parking lot in Crystal. We're told by the State Patrol that it was the driver's second day on the job.
Bus riders know getting around the Twin Cities can be confusing if you don't know routes and times. Metro Transit hopes to change that, though. Beginning in December, Metro Transit will unveil about 100 new bus stop signs in Brooklyn Center and Minneapolis. The signs will include routes, maps, bus frequency, even real-time information. This is part of a small pilot program to make riding the bus a little easier.
The goal here is really to give customers the information that they need to make smart transportation decisions. So when they get to the stop, they can be confident they're getting on the right bus and going in the right direction, that they know how long it is going to be until the next bus arrives.
If this program is a success, Metro Transit will likely update most of its signs.
A Crystal TCF bank manager is among 25 people indicted as part of a massive check fraud operation. The indictment accuses the suspects of stealing or attempting to steal close to $2 million from banks and check cashing offices in Minnesota and in other states. The bank manager indicted was 20-year-old Felicia Hassim of Blaine. 5 others from the area were also indicted, 4 from Brooklyn Park and 1 from Brooklyn Center. In Brooklyn Center, there's an update on the ongoing efforts to build a memorial amphitheater.
For more than 2 years, there's been private fundraising, but the cost has risen with construction prices. So what happens next? Well, that will be determined in the months ahead.
We know this is an important cause for our city. We're excited. It's a civic and veterans amphitheater.
Brooklyn Center community leaders know a memorial amphitheater for performances and movies would be a great asset. Located at the edge of Centennial Park, just behind City Hall.
The idea was to leave something tangible as a memento for our 100 years.
Private fundraising started after the city's 100-year celebration in 2011, and they've raised around $400,000. As the construction market comes back and the cost of materials rises, bids for the Brooklyn Center Amphitheater came back recently, ranging from $599,000 to over $800,000.
Way beyond our means and from what we have funded.
There's now a request for new bids, and fundraisers say they've retooled the amphitheater design to lower material costs.
This fall has been really crazy with all the building that's been going on in the Twin Cities, so maybe next spring will be a little bit better for us.
Brooklyn Center's City Council supports the project. Mayor Tim Wilson says the city has budgeted up to $260,000 for the amphitheater if fundraising falls short. The council is determined to see it built, said Wilson. We think it will be a great amenity for the city. While Brooklyn Center waits for new bids, there's momentum to move forward, figuring sooner rather than later might be the time to build.
We're looking forward to it. We're hoping to look at a groundbreaking in the spring.
Fundraising efforts continue. Engraved pavers are being sold that will be part of the amphitheater project.
This weekend, we'll have to move our clocks backward for daylight saving time. It's also a good time to check smoke alarms. And that's what firefighters did today in Maple Grove. They visited more than 20 homes as part of a partnership with Cross Meals on Wheels. Firefighters checked batteries and in some cases installed new smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms for seniors.
It is critical that smoke alarms are working in our homes today. With all the plastics and foams in our homes and synthetics, when that stuff burns, it burns like petroleum, and you can have flashover in your home in literally as early as 4 to 6 minutes.
And statistics show adults 65 and older are 2.5 times more likely to die in fires. Well, are you tired of raking leaves? Up next in Health Check, the good reason the Golden Valley man avoids doing that fall chore.
And a little bit later in sports, the Osseo and Champlin Park volleyball teams get set for semifinal matches in section volleyball.
But first, cooler temperatures again on Wednesday. Highs only in the 40s. In health news, there is a new non-invasive way to test for colon cancer. While not as effective as the colonoscopy that many people dread, it's proven to be more accurate than other tests of its kind. The test, called Cologuard, was partially developed by the Mayo Clinic. It requires a stool sample to be sent to a lab. The test is shown to cover 92% of colorectal cancers. The cost of the test is $599. And so far it is covered by Medicare, but it's unclear if private insurers will also cover the cost. Well, the colorful leaves that dazzled Minnesota's landscape the past few weeks are now mostly gathered in large piles on the ground.
That is true. If the physical toll, too, of raking and bagging those leaves wasn't bad enough, imagine trying to do that while battling allergies. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland looks at how to find fall allergy relief.
I enjoy the colors and change of colors.
The once vibrant fall colors are now mostly past their peak, existing simply as brown piles scattered across people's lawns. As a result,
normally we go till around Thanksgiving.
Shelley Berg from the Elk River Landscaping Company Seasonal Images works 12-hour days to keep up.
You saw how thick the leaves were here today. It'd take them forever to get it raked up and whatever.
While that may be true,
Right, a lot of leaves.
it's not the main reason homeowner Bobby Griffin hired them.
I used to take care of it myself a lot, but I just would be miserable, sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. And candidly, the most allergy medicines have some bad effects on me, so I just have it done.
He's not the only one with that mindset.
Here, just about every homeowner and people that we don't even mow for. They come up and ask, how can you stand it being in the dust and that?
Experts say the dust tossed up by raking and mulching isn't the only problem. The mold that's present inside these mounds of dried vegetation is another area of concern.
In the fall, the grass is damp and mold spreads its spores. And so when you start to do things like raking leaves, it really brings those spores up and people with allergies are severely affected.
It's something Griffin can certainly relate to.
Lots of sneezing, runny eyes.
Physicians at HCMC in Golden Valley say allergy sufferers need to take precautions this time of year to avoid misery.
If you find you're affected by mold, it's important to wear a mask when you're raking or find somebody else to do it for you.
Advice that'll keep Shelley Berg occupied through Thanksgiving.
I guess I'm just lucky I don't have allergies, but If I did, I wouldn't be sitting on this thing.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Physicians say if you have to rake, do it in the evening because that's when mold spores are not as bad. Also, change your clothes and take a shower as soon as you finish. That'll prevent spreading the mold throughout your home. Coming up, why all the warm-hearted feelings at a Brooklyn Center council meeting.
But first in sports, the Wayzata and Maple Grove boys soccer teams push for a spot in the state finals. John Jacobson has the highlights when we come back. State soccer tournament underway, and we have several local teams over there.
Right, two of the boys teams from the area getting their semifinal matches in earlier today. Maple Grove's boys soccer team whipped Anoka 5-1 just over a month ago on the way to an unbeaten regular season. The teams met up again Tuesday morning in the state Class AA semifinals. First half, Tornadoes with a free kick from just outside the box, and Connor Hudala scoring there for a 1-0 lead. Second half, Crimson looking for the equalizer. Trevor Gift playing it into the middle. Ben Zaber's header finds its way in, and we're tied at 1. Scoreless through the rest of regulation and 1 overtime, but in the second OT, Anoka's Philippe Genchi sneaks between the MG defenders and scores the game winner. Maple Grove loses for the first time this season. Anoka goes to the title game. The Wayzata boys had a strong second half on the way to a win over Rochester John Marshall in the state quarterfinals. They met up with the top seed Eastridge in the semifinals. First half, Wayzata's Arthur Perrins burns 2 defenders, sets up Lewis O'Connor for the shot and goal, and it's 1-0 Trojans. Perrins had a heck of a game for Wayzata. Early second half, couple of nice moves, and then he plays the ball into the middle where Clayton Smith buries it for a 2-0 lead. And that's the final as Wayzata's somewhat improbable season continues.
At first we were shaky. We were like, oh no, we lost a lot of seniors last year, but now we're like, oh my gosh, we're playing great. We're passing. Everything's fantastic. We started off a little slow, but I think now we are really at our peak and ready to take home the state championship.
And they'll play in the state final Thursday against Anoka. We're on to the semifinals in Section 5 3A volleyball. 4 Northwest Suburban Conference teams are left and will battle Wednesday night. Top seed Champlin Park hosts a semifinal doubleheader. The Rebels won the Northwest Suburban Conference title in the regular season, sweeping Blaine to seal the championship. They face the Bengals again in the section semifinals.
We know that we're beatable, but we're not going to think of them. We always have to respect them, and so we're going to come out stronger than we did last game because they're going to be stronger too.
We're definitely changing some things up. I mean, there's always some stuff you can work on. The last match was a really good match. We did a lot of good things, but there's always room for improvement.
I think we caught Blaine on maybe a little bit of an off night, and we were playing really well. Now we're hoping that we play really well again, but we know it's going to be a battle, more like the third set was against Blaine the last time we played them, and more so like last year's semifinal match where it went to 5. And
Champlin Park and Blaine meet at 7 o'clock Wednesday in the second semifinal in Section 5. The first semifinal matches will pit second-seeded Tutina Grace against third-seeded and defending section champion Osseo. Osseo was very close to not making it to the semifinals. They lost the first 2 sets to rival Maple Grove in the quarterfinals and then trailed 24-20 in the 4th set before rallying to win. It was quite a night.
Oh, we all were so scared, and we were just stayed calm, and that was basically our game plan, just stay calm, but when we get a big point, be happy, cheer, and be excited.
That probably ranks in the top 5 of most stressful matches as a coach in my lifetime. But coming back from 0-2 and showing a lot of heart, these girls really showed me something that night.
The Orioles lost at Tutina Grace in a 5-set thriller early in the season. They expect another good match.
We have some new tricks, I guess you could say, that we're not pulling on TG quite yet because it's so early in the season. But since we both, I know, have gotten better, it's going to be an interesting match.
Osseo and Grace meet at 5 o'clock Wednesday at Champlin Park. You can see the match Thursday night at 7 on Channel 12 and 12.tv. The Champlin Park Blaine match airs Friday night at 7. Last week, the Hopkins girls soccer team made the program's first ever appearance in the state tournament. On this week's Sports Jam show here on Channel 12, we profile senior midfielder Corbin Boyd. Here's a clip from that story. An all-Lake Conference midfielder for the Royals, She displays good field vision and makes those around her better.
One thing that she has over a lot of kids is just her ability to read the game and anticipate and know where the ball is going. Her ability to just beat somebody, just a little bit, and then find a pass, through three players. She has vision that none of the other players have, and she's able to really create chances for us.
But Corbin's #1 sport is hockey, where she wears number 5. Like soccer, she's played on the Hopkins varsity since 8th grade. As a sophomore, she netted 19 goals with 25 assists and followed that up with a 24-goal, 34-assist season a year ago. Catch the rest of the Corbin Boyd story and more on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12. Other section volleyball going on tonight. We'll have highlights from 3 different matches coming up Wednesday starting at 4.
All right, thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2014, we are hearing from candidates running for Maple Grove City Council.
Voters will choose 2 council members from 5 people running, and today we'll hear from 2 of them, Sherry Marie Johnson and incumbent Phil Leith.
Hello, my name is Sherry Marie Johnson. I am seeking your vote for Maple Grove City Council on Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. I have lived in Maple Grove with my family for 35 years. Maple Grove has been a quality community to raise my family. Maple Grove has many amenities to offer you. We have good schools, beautiful parks, and employment opportunities. I would appreciate your vote for me, Sherry Marie, for Maple Grove City Council. Thank you for your consideration.
Hi, my name is Phil Leith and I'm running for the Maple Grove City Council. It's been an honor to serve the residents of Maple Grove the past 8 years as a council member. During the past 4 years, Highway 610 finally got formal approval and funding. Maple Grove has maintained its AAA bond rating, new senior housing and youth athletic facilities have opened, and we have kept the budget in check. Looking ahead, experience will be very important as we must keep a tight rein on the budget while we continue to grow and still maintain the high level of service our residents expect. We must make good growth choices for the remaining undeveloped lands and the redevelopment projects with a focus on growing the business and commercial sector. My name is Phil Leith, and I ask for your support and vote on November 4th. Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Finally, they're being called shiny bright lights in Brooklyn Center neighborhoods.
They are people who do random acts of kindness, not thinking they'd ever get recognized. Those acts include the B. Yang family, who grew vegetables for families in need, to volunteers at Brooklyn United Methodist Church, who served more than 7,000 free lunches to families, to Perpetua Jones, who brought books to other children at her apartment complex. And in all, there were more than a dozen nominees recognized on Monday night. It's something Brooklyn Center does every year in October, a heartwarming tradition that started back in 1997. They don't do it to be recognized, but nice that they are.
Good job, everybody.
That's right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is up next. We'll see you tomorrow.